Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. It's a Friday. It's a fun day. It's 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park. And I had the hot hand, but I thought
Tony Segreto.
I thought I was going to bring some luck to Tony Segreto on this beautiful, glorious Friday. And we teamed up on some pick threes. Because yesterday, Defo, I understand that a friend of yours or somebody at Cafe Seville, where you were last night, hit a pick three at Turfway Park for like $1,800. Well, I hit a pick three yesterday right here at Gulfstream. I wasn't here, but I did it through my phone. Get this. This was unbelievable because I liked two horses in the first two legs of the final pick three, Jeff Defo DeForest. The first horse was an odds-on favorite, 3-5.
You would have been cursing me out if I mentioned it.
100%.
There's something about you, Mayo. It's really weird, but you have to know how to use the chalk.
So here's the deal. I like the chalk in the first leg. I like the 9-2 shot, Baker's Street, in the second leg because he'd been running well. And I actually like one of those names where I said, oh, yeah, this horse has been running well, rounding into form. I like him at 9-2. I singled those two. And what did I do in the last leg, Defo? I used the all button.
Nice.
I also keyed on certain horses. So I put like $30 into the late pick three, but a $10 ticket had the all button. And lo and behold, what happens? The longest shot in the field, 50-1, $103 horse wins the race. Guess how much that pick three returned on a $10 ticket with a 3-5 shot kicking it off, 9-2 in the middle, 50-1 at the end.
$1,000.
$1,100.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Holy crap.
So drinks are on me today, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
And
let's
I came in, I'm saying I've been on this hot heater, in the last week between poker and horses and hitting pick threes and turf pick threes. I'm almost 4 dimes to the good over the last 10 days. I haven't hit an ATM machine. I haven't had to replenish my account. I've actually been shoveling money out of my account. This is an unusual feeling. It's almost as strange a feeling as being on the Gila Monster Juice, where like I have all these platters of food in front of me and I don't even want to touch it. What? This is such a strange world.
You sure you're okay?
Yeah, feel me. I'm heating up. But meanwhile, Jeff Defo, I know we got shocking news yesterday. I mean, we had a great show at Batch yesterday.
We did, and we had just terrible news. John Feinstein passed away, and
Friend of Defo and Lubie's, friend of their show for a long time.
a friend of mine, a friend of yours, and
It's interesting how all of us had a connection. That's what Sarni had these stories that were fantastic. I know Mayo had great stories. Visser Mama, I know literally they were so close that she tried to kill him, vehicular manslaughter him multiple times. And the fact that he was a big part of our show and he loved Defo. Like he and Defo would hit it off. It was so fun.
Because this is a show about, sports as well as food and just having, about our whole life experiences. Defo, do you want to, I guess, share your, how did you first encounter John Feinstein and develop a bond that, included him coming on your show numerous times through the years?
Might have been through Leslie Visser. A long time ago, going back to, I think, my days in Radio Purgatory, 640. And we had him on as a guest, and we got along very well. And I thought, this is the kind of guest that adds an element of dignity and class, a little validity to a program.
God knows we need that. Yeah.
Good to have him on. But he was a great conversationalist. He was one of these guys that you could go back and forth with. And I think one of the things that Lubie and I did when we were doing radio was we approached it in a different fashion. And we were always hoping that when the guy hung up the phone after being on, he would say, wow, who the hell were those guys, man? I love talking to them. And so we developed that kind of rapport, and he was about to do a show with me a week ago. Tuesday was the last time I spoke with him.
Yeah.
He is not a technical giant, and, of course, he didn't have any of the methods to get involved with our video stream, so we had to scrub the show at the last second. And he was very disappointed. He talked to Lubie about it afterwards.
Yeah.
In a million years, I would have never guessed that a week later he'd be dead.
Yeah.
That-
And he's
no way.
69 years old,
Yeah.
which
Young
was
guy.
way too
Young
young.
guy.
He had a teenage daughter from his second marriage. It's just tragic to hear about
A
that.
real good guy. He was
No,
so good to
he was
everybody.
so-
That
Tony,
was
do
the
you have
thing.
any
Yeah.
personal recollections or
You know,
stories?
I would see him out the track, and we'd say hello and niceties, and that was the extent of it. But he was always the nicest man,
So-
gentleman. He
yeah.
was a
Well,
gentleman.
he had a great sense of humor. Like
Yeah.
we like to push it, and he would,
Yes, he
would
does.
have Defo and I just going, "Wow, that's John Feinstein."
Well, he was a native
he
New
didn't give a
Yorker.
crap.
Yeah.
Like
So he had an edge to him. He also liked to give the needle, and he could take it. Now,
Yep.
I had extensive dealings with him back in the 90s, early mid 90s, when this was after his success of Season on the Brink, when he somehow convinced Bobby Knight to let him be a fly on the wall for an entire season. He took a leave of absence from his job at the Washington Post as a sports writer to just kind of watch Bobby Knight and his team, and he turned that into a massive bestseller. He wasn't the first to do that kind of book, because David Halberstam with, if you remember, Breaks of the Game.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to convince Jack Ramsey to be able to hang
exactly.
around
Bobby Knight.
and Bill Walton and an
Yeah.
NBA team to kind of do a story of them. But another, with Bobby Knight. But one of his endeavors after that was a book called A Good Walk Spoiled, which was about the PGA Tour.
he
That
big in the
was
golf, big in the
that was a
tennis.
phenomenal
Phenomenal book. And at the time that he was researching and writing that book, I was the golf writer for the Sun Sentinel in those like early 90s, 93, 94. And I would be out on tour 20, 25 weeks a year, because that's when golf was huge down here. And we
Huge.
had all the local golfers. And so John, you could tell what a meticulous, great importer he was, because instead of focusing on the superstars,
He was always on the.
he focused on the journeyman. He focused he had like 5 characters in the book. One of them was Paul Goidos.
Yes.
But he would also pick every like golf beat writers, but and I walked a lot of holes with him at majors over those years, and just a nice guy, down to earth, even though he had made a real big reputation and for himself with the other book. And at his heart, he was a legman reporter. He did the grunt work, and you could tell in his book. So I had massive respect for him as, a journalist, a writer, an author.
Well, what I appreciate about him was, and we would have him on, and Defo would be like, "Okay, if I really want to get something out of Feinstein, I'm going to do this." And it was when they were still the Redskins, and Schneider was there, and all you had to do, because he's a DC guy, he'd been with the Post forever, so he became sort of a fan in a sense, like he hated Schneider. So like all you had to do was bring up, how about the Redskins, and you would have 15 minutes of Feinstein for a guy who got to that place, who like a lot of the times once you get big, you have friends and he was friends with Coach K, and he would slam Duke. He was a Duke alum, but like, what I loved about him and I appreciated about him, especially with our times with him, was like he got to the place where usually you pull back and you don't go after people, but the reporter never left him. Like he couldn't help himself, but to he would openly go after Schneider. Like it was rough. It was stuff where even we were like, okay, and it was just cool to see a guy get to that place, but still be the everyman. Like he never held his opinion.
He was true to himself,
and it was really
he was true to his
impressive
readers.
to me.
He was just a great man.
Yeah, and it's just devastating. You never expect to hear that, especially with somebody that you just spoke with and you were lining up to have as a guest on your morning program. So, again, condolences to all his friends and family. And Leslie Visser was the one who kind of broke the news to us before it even hit the wires, because she was in
She's like a
contact.
family friend. I think.
So apparently his brother, he was staying at his brother's house before going out to one of these tournaments this weekend.
That's fortunate.
And in true journalist style, he had a column in the can that the Washington Post published yesterday about Coach Tom Izzo at Michigan State, about how even with all the craziness going on in college basketball and the NILs, this is a guy who still loves to coach, and he's got his team primed for a good run in the NCAA tournament. So, again, rest in peace to him. And I remember him also personally because he had a little degenerate streak in him.
Oh, yes, he did.
We at the Masters, I went to 13 Masters and covered him, and I was part of his group's Masters Pool. Every Wednesday night before the tournament began at Augusta, we would convene at the house that he rented. It was a group that included Dave Kindred, who was a great columnist at one point, also worked in Washington, and Tom Callahan, who worked in Washington and then was at Golf Digest. But it was a whole group of people. Larry Dorman from the New York Times, who came up from down here in Miami. Tim Rosafort, rest in peace. But I was part of that group where we had the pool and the picks, and we would drink some beer and have some fun. And it's every day I sign off with "Enjoy every sandwich," which is actually a Warren Zevon line that he told Dave Letterman on his final interview as he was dying of cancer. Letterman asked him, "What have you learned in life?" And he just said, "Enjoy every sandwich." And I like that motto because you never know when the time is going to come. And so just enjoy every day, enjoy every sandwich, and plunge your guts out if you get the chance. So that's it. All right. I've been having – well, today's Pie Day.
Yes, it is.
3.14, yes.
And
3.14.
we're going to get a pie?
I don't know. I think Joe Beja was mentioning here at Ten Palms that they were going to be running not only some specials for St. Patrick's weekend. We've got corned beef and cabbage in front of us. But also I think he was going to have some sort of special slice of pie for Pie Day. And, there's a lot of pizzerias out there. Actually, one of them.
Yeah, because every gas station had 314. And I'm like, why did gas jump? Like, it was down to like 290 something. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, oh, the stupid Pie Day.
It's supposed to go down, not
yeah,
up.
exactly. I'm like, of course they take advantage of it the other way.
So, I don't know. We'll see if we can get our hands on a piece of pie here. Meanwhile, Sarni, the king of esotericers, texted me earlier today. This is why I love Sarni. Sometimes he makes suggestions that I take, and sometimes he just comes up with things that are completely ridiculous.
Lunatic fringe, exactly.
And one of them was that there's a guy in Tokyo. No, I'm sorry. It was back in 2006. Anyway, he recited the most digits of pi in history, 100,000 over more than 16 hours. And this is a guy who just says that all things in life can be explained by pi, the mathematical representation of the ratio of a circle's circumference to its ratio.
Yes.
And Sarni, I say you're completely insane. But thank you for coming.
Meantime, we lost $20.
Yes, we went down in flames, but we still do have a $1 ticket on the early double.
Yeah.
Coming to a horse named Rose, which you love.
My wife's name, my daughter's middle name, your daughter's middle name.
Yeah, so we had to do the hunch play.
My mother's name.
Yeah, so I did an all with the next upcoming race here at Gulfstream is a horse named Boston Rose. And since I went to college in Boston, why not? 5-1. And we at least will have something thrilling to follow, which is if this horse comes in, we'll cash a ticket for $15.40. We'll cut our
what
losses.
What are we going to do with it all?
We've invested 40. I feel like an investor in the Trump world stock market these days. The best I'm hoping to do is get a 50-60% loss return on my investment these days. Oh man. I haven't touched base with Joe Beja. I hope he's going to be coming out because there's so much going on here at Gulfstream Park.
Every weekend's big here.
You got a contest to...
We do have a contest coming up. You want to do that right now? Or you want to take a first break?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
let's get into the contest.
And this week's contest also has a little bit of a tribute to John Feinstein. So it is a 10 Palms Sunday brunch giveaway. You're going to email the answer to this week's restaurant trivia question along with your horse selections for this week's Gulfstream Saturday contest race. And this week's contest race is race number 10 on tomorrow's card. Again, it is a full field of 16 going a mile on the turf. Not that many are going to go. There's also eligibles, numbers 13 through 16. A bunch of those are likely going to be scratches, but you can pick any of them. And if your horse scratches, you get the post-time favorite. So that's an angle. You could just say number 15, and if it doesn't run, you get the post-time favorite without even having to think about it. It's a wide-open affair.
Oh, my God.
$97,000 allowance optional claiming race for older fillies and mares, a mile on the turf, post-time approximately 5:20 p.m. And this week's tiebreaker is... And I know John Feinstein is associated with college basketball, but I don't know all the matchups yet for all these conference title games. So I'm not doing that. his second love was golf and tennis, but we have a golf tournament, the Players Championship, and in honor of Defo, who loves to try to pick winners in golf tournaments because they're huge odds.
Yes.
And this is a Sarni suggestion I took. He said, why don't you do it even though it's halfway through the tournament? People will have a sense of the leaderboard.
That doesn't matter.
And
in golf.
I know. And Rory McIlroy, which was your pick for this week, he was roaring up the leaderboard. He was 10 under when I looked this
I
morning.
like Rory this week.
Yeah. So what you're going to do, I say it behooves you to wait to submit your entry until after today's second round is
Just
done.
wait till tomorrow before 12.
Before tomorrow's third round starts, because the deadline is noon tomorrow on Saturday the 15th. You got to get your entries into MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by noon tomorrow. And the tiebreaker is the winner and the score relative to par for this week's Players Championship up at Ponte Vedra Beach, the great course at Sawgrass, sometimes known as the world's biggest clown.
Yeah,
I mean, that
exactly.
17th hole. Is there any hole that's been more identified
No.
with a tournament?
Any hole more intimidating than that.
It's 130 yards.
You stand at the first tee, it looks like a 9,000 yards.
Jesus.
That little postage stamp, and it's like, okay, it actually is a pretty
man.
big green, but if
Yeah.
the wind comes up,
Oh
if
my
you-
God.
it's.
Oh,
have you
my.
ever played that course, Defo? TPC
I
Sawgrass.
never played there. They wouldn't allow me out there. What are you talking about? I was there was like environmental and Audubon societies were banning me from certain golf courses. I have been at the place though. I was there once when the Dolphins got slaughtered by Jacksonville in that playoff game, and Dan Marino and Jimmy finally realized it was over. What was that? 62-7.
7. Yeah.
And you remember a guy named David Evans was with the Dolphins. Great guy. He was
Yeah,
a marketing
very
director there and a terrific
Great
guy.
guy. Great
So
guy.
he had a dinner, like a sponsor's dinner, and he invited me, I guess some other members of the media. So we ate at the clubhouse there at the TPC Sawgrass. I wanted to go out. I want to say that I went out and looked at a couple of holes. But that island hole, the weirdest thing about it, you were covering golf, man. You can hit a great shot in there, and it still ends up in the water.
Yeah, that's a lot of the problem.
I mean,
the
you'll see a
issue.
ball land near the pin and spin back,
It was
and then boom, it's in the water.
Just miss
it
it by
was such a
quarter of an
controversial
inch.
course because it was Pete Dye who was making a name for himself by designing these diabolical courses where you could,
Everybody loves that hole.
yeah,
but
they do.
the problem
great.
is
So what's more difficult?
Tony-
Isn't there one at Doral? The
Blue
No,
Monster
no.
18 was
no. Well, that was a good
intimidating.
finishing hole, but then they just started conquering it because their distance got used.
I
But
still
this one-
remember
Those length.
Freddie Couples behind the trees on the right, the last place you wanted to be. He bogeys the final hole. Ray Floyd wins. And you were probably friendly with Ray Floyd, but
I was.
he was not a big fan of sports
He
talk
was-
radio.
He was not the
Ray Floyd can be an absolute prick if you
I didn't want to say
if he
that,
was in a bad
but,
mood.
yeah.
I learned that personally.
Wow, wow.
But
You did not like
I got the ugliest look of a blow off. I mean, hey Ray, and these guys were supposedly obligated to
I
come on.
remember going up to him, seeing him practice, and he would hit probably 100 7-irons
Right.
in one spot, and the balls would just be in one spot,
Right.
gathering in one spot.
Yeah, because these guys are good.
Oh my God.
So anyway, the problem that pros had with that course and Pete Dye's design is that they thought good shots would get punished, and
Yeah.
golfers want good shots rewarded and
Yeah.
bad shots punished. And
Yeah.
that, like you said, that 17th hole, you could hit a perfect
Perfect shot.
shot, and then either a puff of wind comes up and it takes it in the water,
Or
or
it
it takes
takes a
a
big
tricky
bounce.
hop off
Puff
of
the
the
Magic
wrong
Dragon.
because
Yeah.
it's a big, kind of angled green that has all kinds of humps and bumps, and it could hit off a bump and then just go ricocheting right in the water. Now, I got to play that course. I only played it one time because
How
it
many
is
did you dump
punishing.
in there?
I dumped one ball
That's
in,
it. Wow.
and then so I'm
That's
hitting
not
my
bad.
third shot. I hit the second, my second tee shot from the same spot as the first, and I hit it right, beautiful, like right into the fat of the green, and it was like a Sunday pin position, so it was like that lower right. I still ended up 4-putting, so I ended up
Four
taking like an
Jesus.
8 or something like that. Even
Well,
though
that's
I
probably
hit
not that bad.
the second shot into the fat of the green, to my third shot, I'm on in 3, and it took me 4 more, 7. I carded a 7 on that hole.
I like when they chip from one side of the green and then it goes in the water.
Yeah.
But there's been many dramatic changes there, and you kind of like that. A pivotal point, as you like to say.
Yeah.
What's pivotal? Game 1, game 2, game 3. That is as pivotal a point on a golf course in a tournament as I think you'll see
Every
anywhere.
day there's drama there, and there's also a lot of drunken yokels.
So wait,
that
it's really
are-
only 130 yards?
130 yards.
So it's
you know what?
a
I think
par 3 and it's that psychotic?
back
because
when-
it's all water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
but
see
back-
what one of the guys did in the opening round, though? I don't know if it's unprecedented, but I doubt it's happened too frequently. First ball goes in the water, right? So now he goes up to 100 yards away, the little drop area there where they put the little lime circle, and you got to hit from there. And he holes out from there.
Oh, wow.
So he ended up parring the hole.
Right.
With a
That
hole
is
in one.
called a par the hard way.
That was in yesterday's first round.
Oh, my
Yeah, no.
God. Are you
So, anyway, getting back to the contest.
Yeah, where were you
We
going?
We
with
started
finally
that?
like
got
10
there.
minutes ago.
I know.
We can take
Well,
a break now.
we did
now
the
that we've
weave.
Why don't you take a
You know
break?
what?
and
Joe
then-
Take a
is
break.
going to
Agree,
come.
agree.
Joe is going to
Let's-
come.
all
They
right.
do have pie. So
We're
we're
gonna
going to get a cherry and an apple
All
pie.
right, let's get
If you're
one
coming here,
each.
$3.14.
I hate
a
to
slice
leave
of
people
pie.
hanging on the contest,
Yeah,
but we
they'll be fine.
Oh,
got
that's
so
called,
wrapped up
it's
into
called
It's called
the
a tease.
Tease. Keep the
We've never
people
done those
going.
well.
and we
either,
also what we did was just some in the White House would call it a weave. We just
Yeah,
weaved our way
weaved
back to
We
the
would just
contest.
tell people we don't have anything more to say. You want to stay with the show. And it's
Exactly. That's
your
your
business.
choice.
We only got
Yeah.
3 hours and 40 minutes left.
All right, we'll recap the contest, and I'll give the clues for the restaurant, which is going to be a St.
The
Patty's
feta
Day
cheese are outstanding, though. Tony always gives
It's like
me
a
a
nice
slab,
chunk.
and it's
I
beautiful.
got to get some of this fish. Lubie, you got the
Right here.
configuration wrong. Get the pasta away from me.
Normally, you would
Well,
have
'cause
Tony
you would have
Defo
devoured
liked the
this corned beef and
pasta.
cabbage. Yeah.
Looks
Tony
like a
and
nice
Defo
piece of
like the
snapper,
pasta, so I like
and
it
I
within
want
their
some
arm's
corned
reach.
All right, before we take our first break, let me give the good word about our friends at Tropical Acres. It is a weekend and a big one.
Still happy hour.
And
too.
why not start the weekend by having a little happy
Is
hour
it Mother's Day?
celebration?
What's going on this weekend? Mother's Day?
No,
Oh,
St.
that's St.
Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day is on Monday.
Is that
I'll
a
be in
big-
New York.
Tropical
We'll get
Acres
more
Day?
with
I'm
that.
like, Tropical Acres.
You can celebrate
I was
every
only
day.
kidding. I was
How
only
about just
kidding.
celebrating another day of living, which is
Every
something
day
at
is a
this
celebration
point.
Day, yes.
Go in there, happy hour 4:30 to 6:30, Monday through Friday. Kick off the weekend, have your nice half-price martini like I do.
Yep.
And then go into the dining room, get your prime rib, your filet mignon. They have great seafood specials. They have stone crab because it's in season. And you also get your loyalty reward card punch. You could also get half-price wine on Monday and Tuesday. And last but not least, you can also book your reservations now for both Easter Sunday on April 20th and Mother's Day, May 11th. They are usually closed on Sundays, but they are open for major holidays. Call them now. Get your reservation in the books, 954-989-2500, 954-989-2500, and tell them the lunchbox.
I
sent
have a
you.
Let's Eat Self Lauder question for you.
Okay.
All right. I would imagine pending is Tony's review of Batch Southern Kitchen yesterday.
We've got a
No,
moratorium.
you have a moratorium on that, but it is
Yeah.
Tony Segreto, an
If
iconic
Tony-
figure, and it's like a celebrity. Who was a celebrity that commented and you were like almost orgasmic over it many years ago?
Mason Reese?
Yes, very good.
I don't know why I got so orgasmic.
You were
but he was-
crazed. I mean, but it was an honor to think that this guy that was an obscure celebrity talent was paying attention to it. I would have got a kick out of that. But is Tony's rave review about Batch going to be approved?
He's in the VIP. He's in the express lane. If he,
You have to make an exception.
Of course, it's
Well, it
Tony
was cool to
Segreto.
see Brandon. Like, Brandon was like geeked out. He's like, here's my number. If you ever want to come back. I'm like, Jesus, Brandon.
The guy just scarfed like 300
Brandon-
hours worth of free
it was-
food while he was
Brandon's
there.
a Hollywood
It
native.
was really cool.
And it was great to
It
me
was
to
cool.
see
It
the
was cool.
legendary Tony Segreto meet the legendary Biscuits at Batch. And
Batch
you were,
was unbelievable. It has to be
They
in the top 3 of my.
they do a great job.
They
Oh
do a
my
really good
God.
job.
And like you said, best biscuits ever. Devo
Best
says where the
biscuits.
biscuits call you by name.
Here's what happened with my biscuit that I took home. And this is, they do
I
call
took my
you by
biscuit
name.
home.
It didn't make it home.
No,
No.
I made it home because I was eating a waffle on the way home.
You turned into me. What
I
happened?
really did.
Devo's great
I'm
when the
eating a
car
waffle
driving.
with syrup in my
Devo's
car while
great.
I'm driving. It was part of my dining while driving theme. But so the biscuit I saved for the Mustang, and it was intact. She used to really get upset whenever it looked like it was slime by either Lubie or
Yeah.
Mayo or something I brought home, which was always the case. Especially when Mayo was like touching everything before putting his mark on
those
things
days
like
are
a
over.
dog, you know.
Yeah.
No, he didn't go
But
near the
anyway,
biscuits.
so I brought it home. She didn't have it yesterday.
No, Jesus.
And
That's
so
breakfast.
it was in the refrigerator this morning, and I was looking at it thinking, do
Mm-hmm.
I really want to go through the exercise of making my usual cheese
Nope.
omelet
Yeah.
when this biscuit is calling me by name?
Yep.
But I left it there. 'Cause-
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
I don't know how
my-
you reheat that. I guess you just throw it in the oven for
The
a
air
couple
fryer
minutes.
works. It's great in the
Air
air fryer.
fryer, good. Yeah.
We took it and put it in the oven
Okay.
for
Cook in the oven.
a minute or two.
Right. Just make it crunchy and a
And my
little warm.
wife doesn't eat bread.
Right. But she ate those.
She was wowed.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, they're great.
Oh, that's great.
And really, the best way to enjoy it is at Batch itself.
Yes.
Well, hey, we turn this into a double live spot. Why not?
Yeah, yeah.
You could go to Batch.
Get them all out of the way
525
early in the show.
525 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. And again, they are known for their weekend
best,
brunches,
the
bottomless
best.
drinks, all their house-made
Nice.
cocktails. They make all their mixes and juices there. And, of course, the pecan whiskey, which we all took shots of after
was
the
good.
show.
My
Nice,
God,
so
it was
nice.
great.
It's
It
so
was
nice.
fabulous.
We
It's
love
nice
I'm
and
not
clean.
normally a fan of that sort of thing, but it was really
No,
good
it's really
taste.
We
clean.
love Batch. And let me tell you, if you go there and get the biscuits, there's usually a very slim chance of any of them making it back
Nah,
home
they're not
to
coming
the
out.
car.
Wow.
They're best eaten hot right out of that skillet. We love Batch. Also tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, let's take the first
Brisket
break.
sandwich, too.
Then we
Wow.
will finish the contest.
Wow.
Then we'll talk more about Pi Day and St. Patrick's Day.
Where's
and
Tony's
all these
review, though?
things.
I didn't see it this morning.
It's getting there. It's
Mike?
getting there.
You're
All right,
slipping.
we'll be back on the Lunchbox after these words.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the. Looking for great seafood that's a little further inland? Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C. 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. Serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the new river. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and information, go to the House on.
All right, Tony, lose my number. We're not a good team. We just watched the second race go off. We needed the number 8. It was dueling for the lead. It was in between horses entering the stretch.
Maybe
and
your
now
luck
it
has
is
run out.
just finishing up. And yeah, I don't mean to impugn you or your luck. This was all me. I made the decisions. I suck today. Sorry.
No, you don't.
It's been known to happen at a racetrack. You know, you play the hot hand until it's
It cools
not
off
hot
at some point.
anymore.
Again, that's what Defo
Let me
and
feel.
the professor
Yeah,
say. It's
I'm
called
cooling off.
gambling and
Yeah,
not
it's
winning.
cooling off.
I'm cooling off, but
You're not gonna
it's
win all the
okay. Everybody's a winner.
you're a
at
winner
10
when you're
Palms
here. I
today.
mean,
It
this place is
is.
nuts.
It really is gorgeous. It's still the heart of the prime winter racing season. It's going to be spring next
Do you
week.
remember?
We've got daylight savings time started last week. Spring officially springs.
Yes.
Springs. I don't know.
Spring.
Next week. I think
But
on
do
the
you
21st.
remember? Do you remember when the dates were so pivotal to these people that they were?
Oh, yeah.
They
There
were
was a battle with 3
Bat-
live racetracks. You know, Hialeah and
Gulfstream
Calder and
Calder.
Gulfstream, and they all wanted the prime winter dates
Dates.
and
Oh, my.
Hialeah, and now we're just hoping that we do have live racing staying in South Florida. We don't know what's going to happen, and all we can do is just kind of watch and wager until they say there's no more racing here. But again, these are issues for other people above my pay grade, and in the meantime, I'm just going to eat lots of good food.
And we do have a contest.
Thank you for getting me back on track, sir. So, as we were saying, email the restaurant a number of horse between 1 and 16 for tomorrow's 10th race at Gulfstream, and the winner of this week's Players Championship, along with their score relative to par. So let's say Rory McIlroy, 16 under.
He's in
Email
top
to Mike-
5.
Mike
And Defo's Morikawa. The two guys. That
I like
Defo-
Morikawa.
Morikawa's like 8 under. He's only a few, like 3
I
shots
thought he
back.
gave what's his name, Shelby
Sepp Straka.
Sepp Straka.
He wasn't out of it, but everybody was way under par yesterday. So he was like 31st, only 4 shots off the
Let me
lead.
see where he's in.
All right, those 3 elements. Mike Mayo eats at gmail.com by noon tomorrow, March 15th. All right, here we go. This
Well, he's
week's
in-
restaurant, we
he's in.
celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Here are the clues. And this is one that I think Defo knows well. He might pass it every day on his walk of life, or maybe not. This local
It's
Irish.
the finishing point.
This local Irish.
I mean, it's the halfway point.
Okay.
I think I
Yeah.
know what it is already.
This local Irish watering hole is located near the water, a few steps from the Pompano Beach Pier.
Should be also part of the iconic.
And you know what?
Actually,
This is
yeah,
actually
if
a
it's what
good.
I'm
We're
thinking
looking
it is.
for
They've been
new
around
ones.
a long time.
Yes, here we go.
They
That's
do a
clue
good
number
job.
2.
They do a good
It
job.
bills itself as, quote, the world's greatest upscale dive bar.
It pretty much is.
That's actually such a way to describe
That's
it.
the way
That's
it's
such a
listed on
way
its
to
website
describe
as the world's greatest upscale dive
That's
bar.
funny.
Sounds like an oxymoron, but
No,
it's
but
not.
it's true. It really
And
is true.
it is one of Broward's oldest eating and drinking establishments, founded 80 years ago in
Crazy.
1945.
My God.
1945. It's
Wow.
older than Tropical Acres.
Think about
They do a nice
think
job.
about how many. There aren't many.
No, man.
I
No,
can't think of any.
There's not
restaurant
many
that's
older
80
than
years-
75. There's Cap's Place, which has been on and off. It hasn't been continuous. There's the Floridian, which started as a soda fountain and drugstore before becoming a restaurant in the 50s, but that's been there since 1937. And there's this place, 1945, which actually
amazing.
edges out
That's amazing.
Tropical Acres, which was 1947 or 49.
I don't know,
I've
that's
lost
amazing.
track, but
All right, we'll go with the hints, but I think we are,
49 was Tropical
49,
Acres.
I think
Yeah.
so.
I'm thinking of Okeechobee Steakhouse up in West Palm Beach was 47. So
Jesus.
a lot of old place. This place has some history.
Yep.
All right, clue number 3. On Monday, much Guinness Jameson Irish whiskey, and assorted other pints and shots will be consumed, along with traditional fare such as shepherd's pie, fish and chips, and bangers and mash. Good luck and happy St. Patrick's Day weekend. Get those entries in. But again, I say it behooves you.
Yeah, you can wait till
Behooves
tomorrow
you.
morning.
I love a day. Any day you could say behooves. Behooves you to wait to submit your entry until today's Players Championship Round 2 is concluded. You have until noon
gives you
tomorrow
a head
because
start.
you want to give me the winner of the Players Championship. We'll have a better picture of who is really in contention at, they call it the 5th major. It used to be around Mother's Day. They keep reconfiguring the PGA
They
Tour
do, because
schedule.
it used to be, you mentioned Mother's Day.
Right.
It used to be.
No, it wasn't in May, this thing.
No, they did. For a few
Yeah.
years, the
Yes, they
PGA Tour
Really?
said instead of having it before the Masters,
Oh,
we
have
kind of want to
after.
make it like one major a month. So they said, this is the 5th major. The Masters is in April. The Players Championship is May. The U.S. Open is June. The British Open is July. And the PGA is in August. Then the PGA said, forget competing against college football and football preseason. We're moving to May. And Players Championship went back to March. Anyway, Joe Beja is here in the Hizzle.
Oh, nice.
And let's get him on the
pop him
program
in
because
there,
we
yeah.
got to talk about all the upcoming great things here at Gulfstream Park, 10 Palms, the Flamingo Room on the 3rd floor, and whatnot. Yeah, he's right here. He's behind you, looking dapper as always for National Pie Day. He's got his little pie chart. Joe Beja, Executive Director of Hospitality here at Gulfstream Park. As always, welcome
doing,
to the
Joe?
Lunchbox
Thank you.
on a Friday. Great to see you. How
You got
are
a nice
I'm
tan.
great.
Got a nice tan.
I haven't really been Means outside I'm not too here. much. So.
you? Didn't you do a little spring break
Oh, yeah,
getaway
you
with
went
your
to
daughter?
your daughter,
I
right?
went to St. Augustine on
Oh,
Monday,
nice.
Tuesday. It was nice. I like that town up there.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
It was great.
So what do we got going on for Pie Day and St. Patty's
Patrick's
weekend?
Day.
We've already been going through our corned beef and
we
cabbage.
Try to keep it fun. Today is March 14th or 3.14, so it's Pie Day. I always thought to myself, I always see like back in the days, Funky Buddha would do like a pie day with themed beers. and
Yes.
I said, if I ever got a nice restaurant where I can be creative and do something like that. So a couple of weeks ago, I thought to myself, I went to pastry chef Alex and executive chef Jason and said, hey, can we make apple and cherry pies and just do a slice for $3.14 on March 14th?
Sold.
And they're like, yeah, of course. I'm like, beautiful, done. So I went to marketing, made the little signs, So we made a little sign. So today in 10 Palms, you can get a slice of apple or cherry pie for $3.14.
That's ridiculous. Good for you.
March 14th.
That's it.
Oh,
So
made in
I
house, too.
love-
Made in house.
and there's a lot of pizza places that also celebrate Pie Day because it's called
Correct.
pizza pies. So, it's a big holiday for pizzerias and bakeries. And also, I'm glad that you get into the spirit here.
And
look at
right
this.
on cue.
Right on cue.
Right
we got
on
our
cue.
pie. Our pie guy is going to drop in a couple of the apple and cherry.
Yeah.
Let me get a good
There we go.
angle on this so I can get
I was
a
gonna show
shot
it to the
for the
TV.
Let's Eat
Yeah.
South Florida group later
Man,
on
this
today.
is awesome.
And you're going to be featuring also Irish fare on the buffets this
Yeah,
weekend too.
Absolutely. So, St. Patrick's Day being Monday, and obviously the place to go will be all the Irish pubs in South Florida. But we figured we get a weekend jump on it and feature an Irish buffet both days, or a buffet
Oh,
featuring
really?
Irish items. So we'll have some Guinness lamb stew, be shepherd's pie, corned beef and cabbage, bangers and mash, fish and chips.
Nice.
So it'll be a whole selection of Irish items to complement our normal items that we have on the weekends buffet. So
I love that you're always thinking of what meshes with the food holidays and all that. That's great. And look at that.
Oh, wow.
That doesn't look
Oh,
like a pie. Oh, that's a
Key lime
key lime pie.
It's a pie.
Not $3.14.
I was about to say.
It gets a little pricey, but that's our
That
made
is.
in-house.
Why do I always think of key lime pie like a cake? Because it just seems like a lemon box cake sometimes
Yeah.
if it's depending on where you get it. But yeah, of course, it's a pie. It
Yeah.
fits with the theme.
It's
Mhm.
it sure does.
And
I was speaking to pastry chef Alex, who loves things like this. He just told me, he goes, you let me know any food holiday you want me to make a dessert for, and I'll do it. And I started laughing. I said, okay, we'll work on that. I'll print the calendar.
You should do that. You should
So-
make a dessert every holiday.
Yeah.
I think it's huge.
But you
People love apple and cherry
mentioned
pie.
you mentioned pizza, and I'm already thinking next year Pie Day falls on Saturday, so
Nice.
we'll have the
Do that
buffet.
thing.
So we'll
Maybe
probably
do some
we'll do-
round
we'll-
pies.
We'll do the pies on the buffet, but what we'll do is we'll do a slice of pizza
Right.
for $3.14
doesn't-
downstairs.
It doesn't fit with the Pie Day theme if you're making a Sicilian or Detroit pizza, because the
No.
whole concept of pie is a circle. It's the
Circle.
circumference to
Yes.
the what's it? The ratio of the circumference to the what's it called? The radius.
I don't know. I was horrible with geometry and math.
I wasn't
You're
going to go
talking
through the
wrong guy.
details of it, but
The
you know,
I said it earlier and it's
talking to the
totally
wrong guy.
slipped my mind.
circumference and diameter. Of, of a
whatever
circle.
the half of the diameter is. Called.
There you go.
As you can see, I was.
That's
a
why
math
we're doing this,
whiz
and that's why he wrote about
growing
sports and food.
up. Anyway, Joe, let's talk a little bit about some of the other exciting things coming up. End of
Absolutely.
the month, Florida Derby, and that's going to be your elevated taste at the track.
Correct. Menu just came out a couple of days ago. I'll share that next week.
Okay.
But I can tell you some of the items are fantastic. We are doing a sushi station,
Nice.
and that will feature bluefin tuna nachos.
Mm.
Along with that station, we'll also have a steak frites station as well that we'll make for you as well. We're going to have a Iberico ham carving station, an elevated charcuterie, and cheese board. So those are three of the options that we'll have that day. So definitely a lot of great items that Chef Jason has
And
created
all
for the
kinds
menu.
of
What's the
fantastic
date for
wines.
that,
Yeah.
Joe?
What was that?
What's the date for that?
That'll be Saturday, March 29th, the day of Florida Derby.
Coincides with the hugest day of racing, aside from Pegasus Day, but like 6
No,
stakes
that's a big
races
deal.
and
Yes.
the Florida Derby.
I
for
used to come
3-year-olds.
here all the time for Florida Derby.
Yeah.
It was
Kicks
just
off the
the
whole
best.
It's a great day. It really is a great day, and you get to see some of the horses that will go on to the Kentucky
Triple Crown,
Derby,
yep,
and,
yep.
you know, starting Triple Crown and so forth. But it's great. The wines that we'll be featuring that day, we have Duckhorn will be here. Kendall Jackson Family Wines will be participating. Trinchero Family Wines will be participating, like Joel Gott and a few others. So there's some good
All
ones there.
High quality. Again, tickets available at GulfstreamPark.com. Just click on the website for the track and the casino here, and it'll take you to events, and just click on it. And the pricing again, you got the VIP and the regular.
Correct. VIP is $195. GA is $125. Again, I know that's higher than our normal
But it's
ticket,
elevated.
but it's a big day. It's an elevated experience.
These days, I can make
So-
that back in 3 races, Joe.
Yeah.
I've been on a heater.
There you go.
He's cold today.
Today, I'm ice
Okay.
cold.
We
Just
split.
when I teamed up with my man Tony, of course, things went south. But yesterday, I hit the late pick 3
Maybe
for
it's
like
me.
$1,100 on
Nice.
a $10 ticket. Was pretty good.
Oh,
I
that's
always like
fantastic.
getting that 100-to-1 return on investment. Hey, let's take our second break, and then we're going to talk more about some of the other things coming up next month, including a Lunchbox Brunch Bash on April 6th, and then hopefully we'll have the final date unveiled for your martinis, linguinis,
Oh,
paninis.
yeah.
But
That-
let's
super
talk.
looking forward to that.
We'll talk about that and more things with Joe Beja here at 10 Palms at Gulfstream after these words. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for Sunday brunch and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-face smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo.
for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the lunch. Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen. Delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them.
All right, we're back at 10 Palms on a Friday at Gulfstream Park with Joe Beja,
The
Tony
cherry
Segreto,
Cherry
and
pie.
I am savoring. Now, Lubie cut me little tiny bites of each of the 3 pies that we have here for Pie Day. The apple and the cherry priced at $3.14 in honor of Pie Day. And it's delicious. I love the crust.
The cherry's great.
Tell your pastry chef he's doing a fine job. And the key lime pie, which is on the everyday menu here, really good. Nice and thick. I don't think I've ever had it.
We've never
here.
had it.
We usually don't get
we
dessert
usually have
on a
so much
Friday.
going on before dessert that we just
Yeah, I don't usually have dessert at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And these days
I would now.
I would.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have a pastry chef, Alex, on our team that is just uber talented and a true passion for what his craft is. And and he listens and he always likes to challenge himself.
Yeah.
You know, you tell him something you've seen or you show him a picture of something and he's like, I can make that.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, and I was telling my boss at lunch today that, a couple of weeks ago, I told him, he goes, how was your day off? I said, I spent it going to a few different Italian pastry shops looking for sfogliatelle. My mom was looking for the lobster tail. Yeah, when none of them had it. We couldn't find it. They didn't make them.
Mimi's ravioli.
They didn't have it. They only had like cannolis and eclair and
At
and everything.
Mimi's? I've never heard of
they
such a
didn't
thing.
have sfogliatelle. And he goes, I can make that. I said, okay. So the next Sunday on the brunch, he made 2 dozen, put them on the buffet. I looked at him, I said, wow. I said, this is amazing. I said, I'm going to take 2 home for mom. And I took them home. My mom ate it like right away. I put the box down. She
Right.
already opened it. And she was just like, this rivals any Italian pastry
Really?
shop.
That's
That's
good.
amazing.
And
Good
he's
for
a
you
keeper.
guys.
Pastry
Don't
chef
they,
Alex is a keeper. Yeah. So
do-
let me just we got to get to the April calendar.
Oh, yeah.
here. I'm sorry, Tony,
No,
but
we're very excited for April. Easter brunch, obviously.
Easter brunch is going to be on the 20th. Before that, we're going to have a lunchbox brunch on the 6th. Again, people, if you want to come, you don't have to be a contest winner to come out, although we welcome the contest winners to redeem their prizes that day. And also, if you want to bring along some guests and family and friends, discounted rate, $44 a person, 20% discount, plus you'll also pay the tax and the tip and for additional alcohol. But it's going to be a fun day at the races.
Yep.
Lubie will be here. Tony Segredo will be here. I'll be here. I'm going to try to give out lots of winners that day, unlike today.
Unlike
And
today.
Joe Beja will be there.
Absolutely.
Again, email me, MikeMayoEats@gmail.com with the number of people in your party. Heard from a few of you, and thank you.
Yeah, we'd love to see all of you out here.
Love to see everybody out here. And again, you could email me up until that week, up till like the Thursday before, and all you got to do is show up, and then you'll pay. And it's going to be a great time. Then later in the month, Easter Sunday, the 20th, you're going to have an enhanced buffet also?
Correct. We will have an enhanced buffet for that day for the holidays for Easter.
Nice.
So the carving station will be enhanced. The seafood station will be enhanced. So it'll be another great day here.
Any lamb or ham or
Probably gonna do lamb and ham.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Fun fact, this year, as we learned from our friend Sophia from Turner and Akima and Giorgio's Bakery and Bistro that just opened called Oshima, this year, the Eastern Orthodox Easter, also known as Greek Easter, falls on the same exact date
Same
wow.
exact
as
date.
the, I guess what you call the, I don't know,
Catholic.
Catholic Easter?
Catholic Easter.
There
It's
you go.
all on
The
April
Christian
20th.
Easter. The Christian Easter.
Christian Easter, not the
Okay.
Eastern, but all on Sunday, April 20th. The calendars align this year, so it's a celebration for all the Easters. And then later in the month, are we on for the Italian?
We are on again. Just date tentative. We'll see,
Okay.
but it's going to be that weekend of either the 26th or the 27th.
Oh, the end of
Sure.
April. Nice.
Okay,
Right, just we'll firm up the date. We got a little bit of time going on, but quite honestly, full disclosure, we have a contract out for an event on the 26th, and if it comes to fruition, then I'll move this to the
Yeah,
7th.
Sunday
if
would be a
it's
blast for a Sunday.
If it's the 27th,
Yeah.
that means 10 Palms and the Flamingo Room will be the Sunday place to be in April between
Yes. Yep.
brunch box brunches and Easter brunches,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
hopefully having the panini, linguine, martini. I always get the order wrong,
Yeah.
but
Martini, panini, and linguine.
okay.
But
The
you had
order-
a great twist. I think a suggestion that you mentioned that if we moved to Sunday to do a little Sunday gravy station.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be
Yeah.
that would be
meatballs and
huge.
sausage,
Huge.
put on some
Yeah.
rigatoni, maybe a little bracciolo. Man, Tony,
But they already
he's
don't do
salivating over here, my
They
man.
already don't do enough. Oh, my God.
Well, we're looking forward to that.
My name on it.
Whichever date of that weekend it is, we
Yeah, I
will
mean,
show up.
oof.
And I'll be the one with my
That
fork
big,
and knife
that's
and my
big.
bib. and meatballs and splattering
Or how
the
about that
sauce.
polo shirt that you have? Other shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, it doubles as a tablecloth.
Yeah, honestly, it works. Yeah.
It works very well. So, hey, Joe, thank you
No, you're the best,
as
my friend.
always.
Your pies are
for
fantastic.
The pies
Your
are great.
pies are great. The pies are great.
And you know what? Cherry pie is one of those underrated things. You don't see
I
enough
agree.
of it.
You don't see it.
I love blueberry pie when blueberries in season.
I'm an apple pie guy, but the cherry pie is very nice.
Cherry pie, all American. I
Yep.
love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks,
always.
Joe.
Let's take.
Our
Are we up
last
to our
break.
third and final
Our
break?
last break. To
Man,
finish
I've
off
lost
this
track
week.
of time. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
We'll be back to wrap up this week on the Lunchbox after these words. For the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch.
Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m. Indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to Taverna. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com.
All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. They still haven't run the 3rd race here. It looks like there's a 3 to 5 shot. I'm going against it.
Truck. I
There's
love how
no
you talk all
way.
that crap about truck, and then you're like all in on the truck.
Well, no, I mean, sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't.
These pies are fantastic. Like, we never do
pies are
dessert.
great.
This key lime pie is look, the consistency's right up your alley, Mayo. It's not a cheesecake consistency. It's a whatever the consistency you like. It's really good.
So I was at a restaurant last night. I took my daughter up to a place in Lake Worth, which has now been renamed Lake Worth Beach, which to me is stupid because if it has more than 2 words, like Dania Beach, I could live with. Hallandale Beach. But if it's already got 2 words, Lake Worth, they've rebranded it as Lake Worth Beach. But the place is called Oceano. Jeremy Behrman, who has been a really top-notch chef. He got a James Beard nomination a couple of years ago for his work at this restaurant. They moved a couple of years ago from Lantana to Lake Worth. They closed for a year, renovated it. It's fantastic. Ran into Burt Rappaport there. He was eating with his wife, and he was asking about you, Defo. Always loved seeing Burt Rappaport, and he enjoyed his meal there. But I'm bringing it back to Pie Day because Jeremy's wife, Cindy, is a top-notch pastry chef. She used to work for Jean-Georges Vongerichten in New York, and she made a pie for Pie Day.
Wasn't he a
last night.
defenseman for the Rangers? What was that name?
Jean-Georges
Vongerichten
is one of the biggest, most celebrated chefs of all time. He has the restaurant Jean-Georges in New York. At one point, he had a restaurant called Vong. He has he's a just world-renowned chef, and Cindy used to work for him as a pastry chef. Cindy also used to work for a couple of different magazines, I think Gourmet Magazine and Martha Stewart Living, doing food styling and also recipes. Very talented. But for Pie Day, last night she made a special pie, which was blueberry pie with a duck fat crust, where the crust is like, made with duck fat. Oh my God. Let me tell you.
How many bites were you able to have?
I think.
Could you have more than one bite?
Only one bite, but my daughter also wanted, there was a chocolate banana cake.
Oh, Jesus.
Which was unbelievably good with homemade chocolate ice cream.
Oh my God.
So, my daughter, she saw me, I'm not really hungry, but I kept eating it because it was so good. And she goes, Dad, I think you're going to be the first guy to defeat Ozempic. And I was like, well, if anybody can do it, I might be the guy.
Yeah.
So I've really got to kind of but I've been good. I've been going to the gym, burning my calories.
You look great. You look like you lost 15 pounds.
And I said, even if I have a couple of bites of something that's a no-no, I'm going to just keep plowing ahead.
This weekend will be the test. I mean, you're in the food city of the world.
And hopefully I'll keep
a city you know
tickets.
very well. So good luck in New York.
So, again, but though, if you are in the northern part, of if in Palm Beach County, whatever, go check out Oceano. They just, it's unbelievably good food. And if Burt Rappaport is eating there, let alone me, means it's pretty darn good. So, all right, that's going to do it for this week. Monday, we're going to have an unusual thing. Defo and Lubie will be at home for a home show. I'll be on the streets of New York City celebrating St. Patrick's Day. So you're going to get a remote show from me on the road, maybe at an Irish bar, That's historic. Maybe on the streets with the bagpipers at the parade that goes up and
Parade.
down Fifth Avenue. Depends on the weather. It's supposed to be a little rainy up there, but I'm going to be up in New York until Tuesday morning, and then we'll be back here. Tuesday, we're going to be doing a remote show at our friends Taco Craft, Lauderdale by the Sea for a spring break edition.
Nice.
Again, spring break
Yeah,
ongoing.
full swing. Yep.
And St. Patty's Day is going to be a big day all around town on Monday. So
St.
again-
Patrick's Day is as big as it's ever been. Every
and
restaurant,
even for non-Irish restaurants,
they
do you
always do
know
something.
even
the
though
biggest, grossest, the biggest grossing weekend or week for restaurants in South Florida is this week right upcoming
Well, with
here.
St. Patrick's
St.
Day
Patrick's
combined
Spring
with
break,
spring break. Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
spring break is through the roof, but you can't.
Behave responsibly, Tony. Take an Uber.
Tony.
All right. We'll see everybody on Monday. And until then, everybody,
Don't buy
have
a
a great
ticket.
weekend. Stay
Don't buy a
safe.
ticket from him.
Don't buy any tickets
a
from
ticket
me.
From him.
And rest in peace, John Feinstein.
Yes.
And enjoy every pie and enjoy every sandwich.